Welcome to All Things Football. Another fantastic guest today. Played for Coventry, Liverpool, Wigan, and a number of other clubs. Also England under 21s, England as well. Fantastic goalkeeper that I rated very highly, and be great to get to know more of his story. So, firstly, Chris Kirkland, how are you, Chris? All right?
Yeah, hello chaps. Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, just
Good.
bit busy today, and then doing this, and I'm going to take the dog down the park later.
No, very nice, mate. And how's lockdown been for you?
Yeah, the same as everyone, I think. Testing times, surreal at times, but yeah, you've got to get on with it, and then you have to adapt. We've had to adapt pretty quickly,
Yeah.
and we're just hoping now that we don't go back into it, and we can start to move forward. But yeah, it's going to be a long process, I think.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, mate. But no, listen, fantastic career, mate, and it'd be great to know a little bit more. So, where did it all start for you as a kid? What age, and where did you start playing? And was it always about being a goalkeeper for you?
No, it was with Barwell. So I started on pitch for Barwell
Yeah,
under 11s, 12s, 13s. But I was on pitch, and I was always on the bench as an outfield. I wasn't the best player. The goalkeeper got injured one game, and because I was the only one on the bench, I had to go in goal, and it sort of stuck from there. So it wasn't until 13 and a half, really, I went in goal by fluke, really. And it just stuck from there and carried on at it, and things took off pretty quick. And yeah, before I know it, I was making my debut for Coventry when I was 18.
so how did that start? Did you get picked up from Coventry quite quickly, quite young? And what was that? Did they offer you a scholar and go from there?
Yeah, I got picked up by Blaby Whetstone when I was about 15. So they were the team in Leicester then, really. Dion Dublin, Gary Lineker, Peter Shilton all played for them at various points. So they were a good team in Leicestershire. And then you start getting noticed. Then when you're at a team like Blaby Whetstone, you get noticed from your county. And obviously county football, that's when the academies and the scholars, the YTSs back then, go and watch these games. And Coventry and Leicester both scouted me. I was already training at Coventry on a Wednesday night with Oggy, the first team goalie coach. So I had that bond anyway, and the chance come to sign for both of them. But I chose Coventry, even though we were obviously born in Leicester. All my family are Leicester fans. I wasn't. I was a Liverpool fan. So I went to Coventry, and it was it was the best decision I could have made.
How did you find scholarship? Did you have to go into digs then, or did you stay at home and travel in every day, or how was that for you?
Yeah, so when you were 16, you have to, obviously, because you can't drive. If you're
Yeah.
local, you can stay in. But yeah, we stayed at the digs. It was amazing. That was part of the fun. There was 20 of us in there, getting up to all sorts, as you can imagine. It was brilliant times, and we're still in contact, a lot of us, to this day, and we try and meet up whenever we can. But they were great times, and just added to that experience, we stayed obviously at the place where the first team trained. So we were up early in the morning, seeing them coming in, seeing them train, and yeah, give you a great insight into life as a professional footballer watching the first team.
Yeah, of course. So how did the debut come about? It was against Tranmere, was it? And Gordon Strachan
Mm.
give you that opportunity? 18, was it? Years of age? And
Well, no, Magnus Hedman was starting, and he got injured at half time, so I had
okay,
to come on. Yeah, I come on at half time. Made my debut, and then on the Saturday I played against Spurs in the Premier League on my debut, and we won 2-1 at Highfield Road, and things took off really quick. I wasn't at Coventry that long, really. Yes, I was there for 4 years, but 2 of them were YTS and 2 pro, and then I left for Liverpool, so it went really quick.
was getting muddled up here, but do you think it was a little bit too quick in terms of getting thrown straight in, or do you think that was probably best for you at the time and you got in and you started playing? And how did you find it playing in the Premier League so young, really? Because
Oh, I
goalkeepers,
loved it.
it's
Yeah, loved it.
a
No, it
young
was no.
age, isn't it?
Yeah, didn't feel it. I always said the same. When you're younger, you don't feel pressure or anything like that. You
No.
just you don't think about things or life in general, really, because you're so young. You just want to play, and you're not bothered. It's when you get older and you start come enjoying your career. Probably when I got over 30, you start to feel the pressure a bit more, because obviously your body can't do what it used to do. Your reactions slow down, and then obviously you've added life experiences as well. So there's a lot of things that come along its way. But no, it was. I was not intimidated when I moved to Liverpool. Didn't bother me at all. I just wanted to train and play, and yeah, just do everything that was to do with football.
That must have been obviously the move to Liverpool. Being a boyhood fan, that must be a dream come true. How was that? How did it come about as well?
Well, I knew about it 6 months before because Gary McAllister, who was with me at Coventry first, and then he moved to Liverpool. His wife wasn't very well, so he come back down to train with Coventry while he was still a Liverpool player, so his wife could get treatment. And he's gone back and just said, "Look, you've got to take this lad. I've seen him grow up at Cov, and you've got to take him now." So he was ringing me saying, "Look, Gerrard loves you. He's going to buy you. Don't sign for anyone else." And I wouldn't have done anyway because I was happy where I was. I looked at it, Cov, even though we'd just been relegated. So it was only Liverpool that I'd have left for. Being a fan, standing in the Kop when I was 7 years old. As a kid. So I'd have only ever left for Liverpool, and he was true to his word. He rang me up right until the day before the bid went in, and just says, "Get your bags ready, and we'll see you up on Merseyside tomorrow."
Wow! And when did the England 21s and the debut come along? Where was you then? Was you Coventry or was it?
I was Liverpool? At Coventry. Yeah, so I was at Coventry, and then I just moved to Liverpool when we qualified for the Euro Championships with the 21s. We beat, I think it was Holland over 2 legs at Pride Park. I think we beat them 1-0 and we qualified. So I just moved to Liverpool then. But I was in the 16s and the 18s with England when I was at Coventry. Yeah.
Yeah. What? Obviously, moving back to Liverpool, that obviously such a big club and fantastic season this year. What was it like with Houllier and Benitez as well? Because obviously he come in, didn't he, when you were there at the time? And how did you find the pair of them? I know I think it was Danny Murphy the other day was talking about how he resented Benitez for 6 months because he moved with the times and Danny Murphy got kind of left behind. So how did you find it?
Exactly the same, to be honest. Chalk and cheese, Gerrard. I mean, Gerrard was amazing. Signed me, picked me up when we first joined. Looked after Leona. He just couldn't do enough for you. Anything outside of football as well, his door was always open. And Rafa was totally the opposite, just pure football obsessed. I think a lot of the players that played under Rafa will say what he was like. He was football obsessed, and it had to be his way. There was no leeway. He had some success, but management style was totally different.
Do you think, obviously, this day and age now, do you think that the managers have to be a little bit different and they need to be like Houllier, or do you think that the ones that get the most success are the ones that are just ruthless and very much just about football?
Well, you could say both, couldn't you? I mean, you look at the way Jose is sometimes, and he picks his players out, but he's won countless trophies. But then you look at the way Jurgen is with his players. He adores them and they adore him. Pep's the same; he sticks up for his City players, and they adore him as well. So no, there's only one way for me. I think you've seen it when it's exploded with Jose. It's exploded in the press when he's dug players out, and and the press have given him some stick. But no, for me, Gerard Hulley was brilliant. Steve Bruce was another one when I was at Wigan. Brucey, just proper man managers, but know the stuff on the pitch, but know how hard stuff is off the pitch as well.
I think that's the massive thing. It's really important that you look after people, and because. I was speaking to someone today about a couple of the Arsenal boys, and they said that they get so much stick, yet they only see what they do on the pitch. They don't see what they do away from the club, what they're going through, what they have to go through at home, and no one else knows about that. They just see 90 minutes on the pitch, And you see in your career at Liverpool, it was a lot of injuries. How did you deal with that? Was that tough to deal with, the injuries?
More so when you look back, I think, as I said, when you're going through it, you're a kid, you think, I've got plenty of time, I'll get fit. Your body's, a lot more... You can recover a lot quicker when you're younger from big injuries. But definitely looking back after I'd finished, that was one of the biggest regrets. And things not really panning out there at Liverpool. Should have played a lot more games for them. Should have played a lot more for England, really. But it was a period of my career which I struggled with serious injuries. When I left Liverpool, I was fine. I went on to play. Yeah. Over 300 odd games in the next few years. So it was, but that's it. I'd do it all again just for one game for Liverpool.
Of course. Is that because different training methods, or because one way was at Liverpool was maybe different to what you had at Wigan, or was it just one of them times?
I think you get to know your body. Obviously, when you're younger, you think you're invincible. I used to train on the days off. I was non-stop. I was off the training pitch in the gym. I was getting home. I was going on the treadmill. So I was non-stop when I was younger. but
Yeah.
it catches up with you. When you get over 30, you start to feel the serious injuries, because your body's never the same again once you have a real serious injury. And if you have 3 or 4 of them, you're never the same again. You're never quite as good as you were. So it wasn't, as I said, I got over 30 and you start to realise your body. Then got to Wigan, come up with a good training routine there, and that's probably where I played my best. From 26 to 30, and then over 30, you know what your body is then. So it's just a case of ticking over and doing what you need to do to be ready for games.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, a lot been made. You made some Champions League games. You played in them. What was it like playing Galatasaray? What was it like? What was the crowd like? And it's hostile, isn't it?
I think the first 3 games were for Liverpool. I think it was Galatasaray, Everton on the Saturday, and then Galatasaray away on the Wednesday. I mean, listen, any time at Anfield, the atmosphere is amazing, especially European nights. Obviously, the derby sandwiched in between that, which was at Anfield, and then the most ferocious atmosphere I've ever played in was out in Galatasaray when they used to play at the old Allianz Stadium.
Yeah,
it was deafening. I mean, the fans were in there literally 4.5, 5 hours before the game, packed out. We could hear them actually because our hotel was only half a mile away from the stadium, and we were sort of trying to get rest in the afternoons just before pre-match, and you could hear the whole stadium.
Wow.
Lads were like, what's the noise? And the staff were saying that's the fans are in the stadium now. And this was like 4 or 5 hours before kick-off. So I mean, we didn't get out actually. Afterwards, we got barricaded in as well because we got a result. We got a good result. The home fans sort of surrounded the stadium, so we had to stay in the ground for a few hours.
Wow, that must be quite intimidating as well. Cool. Obviously, you was injured as well for the Champions League final. Is that right? So
yes.
You missed out your place on the bench, and Scott Carson took that. How again, a lot's been made of you just see players playing football, but how was that mentally? That must have been really tough. Did you go to the final, and what was it like?
Yeah, we were out there, so I had my back up in the January or February, I think it was. So I was struggling with it for a long time, and my form dipped, and I could hardly move at times, so I had to get that seen too. But yeah, we went out there, so they took the whole squad out there, and our partners and girlfriends and that. So it was So I wasn't out there as a player; I was out there as a fan. Then.
Yeah.
But to miss out was hard. But as a fan, amazing to be there.
Yeah, phenomenal. So obviously come to an end at Liverpool. How did that come about? And move to Wigan. Good move for you because obviously the games you played and you played regularly. And what was it like leaving Liverpool? Was it the right time, or did you feel?
Yeah, well, Rafa told me that he wanted a foreign goalkeeper and I wasn't going to be playing. So you need to find another club. And I knew. When Gerard Hulley was there, we had Joe Corrigan, the goalie coach, who proper English chap, played for Man City over 600 times, proper old school, loved that kind of training. Rafa come in, bought a Spanish chap, and the training just completely changed. It just weren't for me. It was too slow. You didn't do anything really. You come off the pitch and not even sweating, and I couldn't get my head around that, and I was going into games thinking I've not done any work here, I'm not trained, or I don't feel sharp, and then my form dipped. So I knew when I was told I'd leave in Liverpool, I knew I was going to have to leave, and then obviously the manager said it. I knew I was going to have to go somewhere with a British manager and a British goalie coach. And Paul Jewell rang us and said, look, come to Wigan, which was 10 minutes from my house again, so we didn't have to move. They'd just been promoted to the Premier League, just stayed up, I think they had actually. And then they had an English goalie coach in Gary Walsh, and he was just the same as Joe. And my form just, as soon as I walked through the door, it just clicked, and that was the best period I've played in, then 4 years under Paul Jewell and Steve Bruce. We bought Nigel Spinkin, a goalie coach who was the same as Walshy, brilliant.
Yeah. And
then it changed again when Roberto Martinez come in 2010, and just it changed again. Swapped the goalie coach, his Spanish goalie coach, and I'm thinking, oh God, it's going to go back to the way it was here. And it did. It was just the training was just not for me. It wasn't hard enough, and my form dipped again, and I lost my place.
Yeah. What was it like under Steve Bruce? And I think he comes in for quite a bit of slack, and I'm not sure why at times. I think he's done a fantastic job this year at Newcastle. With limited.
One of the best I've worked with.
Without
a shadow. Yeah, you speak to anyone that's playing, he does the stick he's received is it blows my heart. It just goes to show some people haven't got a clue what they're talking about. You ask anyone that's played for him or anyone that knows of him, he's so well thought of in the game. Gentleman, looks after your players. You know, doesn't let anyone say anything bad against the players.
Yeah.
He's just a proper bloke. And
Yeah.
great. And when you got somebody looking after you like him that has done it all, been United captain, you know, should have played for England really. Didn't have the good defenders around, but he was somebody that we all looked up to. And everyone you see in the game or speak to has always got something good to say about Steve Bruce.
I think it was Simon Jordan yesterday on the radio set was speaking so highly about him, you know, and said that the stick he comes in for is, you look at his record as a manager, is fantastic. He's done ever so well wherever he's been.
Well, he got Wigan. He got Wigan the highest finish, you know, in the Premier League ever. So, you know, and we've gone from relegation most seasons, and he completely transformed the team. He's got promotions. He's been in Newcastle now against all the odds. He was going to get sacked after 2 or 3 games, and he's done an amazing job. And now they're still on about getting another manager in to replace him. If it's just balmy. Yeah. But the one thing is, he will always have a job if he wants it, because there'll be a million people queuing up to take him if Newcastle were daft enough to let him go.
You had spells at some other clubs of Bury, Preston, Sheffield Wednesday, Doncaster, teams like that. What was your best one in them sort of later stages of your career?
Oh, Sheffield Wednesday. I went there 3 years. Played every game for 2 seasons. And then the 3rd season, Kieran West would come in, so I was on the bench. But obviously, things off the pitch weren't great then. But yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, like Liverpool, was an amazing club, amazing fans, great tradition.
Club.
You know, the 2 clubs are heavily, obviously, involved with what happened with the Hillsborough disaster. Mm-hmm. So it was, privileged. You know, I've been lucky to play for some big teams, and no more so than Sheffield Wednesday and Liverpool.
Just touching on, you know, you've come out in the past and talked about your depression and things like that, which is for people like myself who suffered a little bit. And you know, it's fantastic to hear other people and especially people that have been at the top of the game to know what they've gone through. When did you kind of feel that you were struggling with depression and life and football? And you know, when did you start to feel that? Was it early in your career? Did it come later?
No, it was when I moved to Sheffield Wednesday. So for 11 years, you know, we'd lived in the same daughter, same routine. I could pick Lucy up from drop off at school, pick her up, and then all of a sudden it flipped when we didn't move to Sheffield because my daughter was in school and my wife was happy, so I thought I'd commute. But it was just, the commute just become hard, you know, getting up in the mornings, 5 to leave, like people have to do to beat the traffic. I was getting into training at like 7, there was no one there. Yeah. It was just something I wasn't used to. So for 11 years, everything was brilliant, you know, everything, personal life, football, apart from when you're in and out of team, but personal. But then it just completely changed. I was missing things back home. I was not seeing them in school plays, something I'd always done. And just every time I missed something, I just hated it. And it just made you feel even worse. So yeah, them 3 years there, and I was going to sign again, but thought I've got to get back close. I thought getting closer to home would help reverse it, but by then I was too far into it and couldn't get out of it.
Yeah,
tough years, long years.
How did you find because obviously, like you say, you played every game for the 2 years. How did you find that, knowing what you was going through as well? Did you feel it was a burden on you, or
the first year was a help. And just for them 90 minutes, I could concentrate on just the football and nothing else. Yeah. And towards the middle of the second season, it started to creep in, like during the games, and I was just thinking about the whistle going and getting home. Yeah. So and then the 3rd season, I was glad when Kieran come in, and I wouldn't have the pressure of having to play, which is not what you should be saying, but it was true at that point in time.
Yeah, no. Thank you for sharing that, mate. It's always good to know what other people go through and the help that's out there. Do you feel that there was enough help at the time for you, or you just kept it to yourself?
Yeah, because you didn't know. I mean, it's only been really in the last 18 months, really, that all the mental health. You turn the TVs on, you turn the radios on. There's something every day now, which is what it needs to be, because it is. It's say 1 in 4. It's not. It's more like 3 in 4 will suffer at some point. Yeah. And the more normal we can make it, because it is normal, it's what happens. And I think we're seeing that now. But back then, no, you don't really know what it is. You just think you're going to wake up one day and you'll be okay.
You
do. Yeah. You're not feeling great, but you think you'll snap out of it. I suppose you're not naive. But now there's definitely a lot more help around now,
yeah.
And rightly so. And I think he'll only get bigger and bigger.
No, that's fantastic, mate. It's good to know. Obviously, back onto the football, you face some very good centre forwards in your time, and you'd see them most when you're standing in the sticks. Who was the best forward you felt like you come up against? And
oh, that's a good one. That there was probably, I've always said three, probably Henry, Ronaldo, and Alan Shearer. And I didn't used to like playing against Big Dunk either, Duncan Ferguson. He was just
he'd leave one on you.
Oh, he's left more than one on me. Yeah, and Kevin Davis was another one actually. He gave me a few bad whacks, but yeah, there was probably Ronaldo in terms of looking at the opposition names and seeing his name on the team sheet. Yeah, he give you, he scared you a few before you even got on the pitch.
No, that's brilliant. Obviously, you've moved into coaching now, and you've got a little soccer school going and things like that. How are you finding it? Are you enjoying it? Is it something you want to get into in the long term?
Well, I've done my own goalkeeper academy, so we do it on Monday and Wednesdays. It's just at Mondays at the minute, obviously, because it's lockdown. But yeah, really enjoy that. The Colne stuff is just part time, so then I do a lot of stuff with Liverpool Foundation. So I've had offers to go back into it 24/7, but I'm not sure I will, because it really is 24/7. And if you go on the coaching side, it's different to playing. When you train, you can be home by 1:30, but coaching, you're there till all hours. So not yet, definitely not yet. I enjoy doing what I'm doing too much, doing different stuff at the minute.
Yeah. How did you find the Liverpool Ladies, being manager there for a caretaker role? How was that?
Interesting. It was glad I did it. It was you do all the same things as you would train a man. You don't do anything different. You don't treat them. Obviously, you've got to be respectful and not watch what you're saying and stuff around them. But they were great. They really were. They wanted to train hard. They listened. They were obsessed with training. Actually, they wanted to make sure they did everything properly. And I was there for about 6 months, and then it just wasn't I was missing other stuff. I was doing a lot of stuff for mental health at the time, and I was missing doing stuff with Liverpool. So in the end, it wasn't really fair on them, because I was having to miss sessions, I just said, listen, you're going to have to get somebody else in now. So I stayed until they got somebody else in, and then left. But it was a good learning curve. Would I do it again? You just don't know. You're not too sure. Now, obviously I've been in men's football all my life, so unless something spectacular come up, then I can't see me doing it again, I don't think.
In terms of your style as a coach now, obviously you were brought up probably with the old school keepers, and footballers nowadays, or goalkeepers, are more like centre halves at times in the way they have to be with the ball at their feet. How have you adjusted with that? Was you always like that, or have you had to bring that into your coaching style?
No, I think you have to bring it in a bit more. I mean, I was okay with my feet. Never got tested to the extent where keepers are now, and they've got to be good with their feet. But yeah, try and bring it into it. But you've got to have good feet anyway as a goalkeeper. Not just for the footwork, but making saves, getting in position. So I base a lot of my training on that anyway. And then just throw a few more bits in with distribution and stuff. But still, for me, the most important thing is keeping the ball out of the net. It's not how far you can kick it. It's keeping that ball out of the net. And
I see there your daughter as well has designed some gloves. Is that right?
Yeah,
and that's gone well, has it?
It's going. It is. Yeah, I've got another how many packages today? Yeah, so she wanted to do something for the NHS and for mental health as well, because she's very aware of, we've been honest about what I've been through, and we're open with her, saying, look, if you ever start to feel bad, you make sure you talk to us and talk to your friends. So she just come up with an idea, and obviously I said, look, well, why don't we get some? What do you want to do? She went, I want to make some gloves. So I said, okay, what do you want to do? She went, we'll do them in the NHS colours. Can you get some signed off, some keepers? So I've got obviously a lot of contacts in my phone. I just sent a massive group one to about 30 keepers in the Prem and just said, look, design these gloves. Will you sign them? And then we're gonna auction them off. We were going to auction them off, but then that was going to rule too many people out. People that wouldn't be able to afford it when it got to a few £100s and stuff. So we're going to do a raffle system, and all the Premier League keepers are signing them. All like Peter Schmeichel, Seaman, Shilton, everyone you can imagine. He's signing a pair, and they'll be ready. I'm just getting them all. I think I've got half of them back now, so still waiting for the other half. So in the next 3 weeks,
There is a great video of this I've seen somewhere.
Yeah, it was on. I did Sky Sports News were at my house the other day. They were doing something on it. But yeah, I've got a pair here actually. Let me just go and grab a pair for you. One sec. I'll just show you them now. Right, here we are. Yeah, so I've got these. So I don't know if you can see them now. It's these ones here.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, so these ones, I think that's Andy Loniger on them ones, but I took them into Liverpool the other week and got all the Liverpool players ones to sign them. So yeah, so we're hoping that's gonna raise a lot of money for what we're gonna do is instead of just giving a check to the NHS, we're gonna specify specific hospitals and buy them equipment so that people know
Oh, fantastic.
what that was bought, and then obviously mental health charities as well.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Does she play as well? Was she a keeper herself?
Yeah,
or?
she's a goalkeeper. Yeah, she's
I see some videos on Twitter.
Yeah, she loves it. So we just obviously it should hopefully all be starting back up in the next few weeks.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so no, she's good. She's good.
That's brilliant, mate. Now, listen, we're just going to, again, thank you for your time and coming on, mate, and sharing your story. We're just going to finish with a little quick fire round. It ain't that quick, to be fair, mate. Just a few questions. But best player you played with and against?
Steven Gerrard, both.
Yeah. Is he
for
that
and
good?
against. Oh, yeah, handsome. Yeah.
Really?
Head and shoulders. Yeah, he's just everything he does, he just makes things look easy, but he's head and shoulders above anything.
Best or most important save that you've made?
It was one when we was at Wigan, we was down at Chelsea and it was off Anelka, and he's headed it, it's going over me, so I managed to arch me back, tip it over, but it was at an important time of the season for us, and we nicked a draw that night, and then we went on a decent run after that, which pulled us away from the relegation zone. So yeah, probably that one.
Fantastic. And best manager you played for and why?
Yeah, well, there's two, Gerard Houllier and Steve Bruce, not just because they're good managers, but good proper men as well. Real proper men. Yeah,
makes it very important for me that you have a relationship with your manager. I think that's you get the best out of your players as well. I really believe in that. So best keeper in the world at the moment. I know a lot of stick for the haters flying around at the moment, but who do you think's the best at the moment?
Oh, Alisson, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, he's changed him, hasn't he? I feel him and Van Dijk have made it a total different animal.
Oh yeah, they needed a centre back, needed a goalkeeper for years, and I go down and watch him train as well quite a bit, and he's insane how good he is. He's only young as well. He's got years ahead of him. Yeah.
No. And last thing, mate. Obviously, you're doing a little bit of charity work yourself now, and with a few of the other lads. Obviously, we had Mark Crosley on here a couple of weeks ago. But you're doing the walk up Kilimanjaro. Is that right?
Yeah, so that's next July. So we're walking and talking charity hikes. It is watch. So walking's brilliant. Obviously, I mean, not a lot of it's got to do with Norm. He really started it all off. He found himself out of football for the first time in 33 years. I think it was in January last year. So just started up walking, or this year it might have been actually, and just started walking and knew I did walks, and we got chatting, and a few more added to the group, and we just said, look, should we all meet up, do some walks, and we were going to do stuff for mental health anyway, and then obviously COVID happened, and so we said, right, we'll do something for NHS and mental health now as well. So we've got the first golf events in September, I think it is, and then there's a few footy games and a few more events early next year leading up to Kilimanjaro, next July.
Fantastic, mate. Well, listen, massive good luck with that. And
brilliant.
Thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us and giving up your time, mate, because I know how busy you are.
No, my pleasure.
No, fantastic, mate.
Evan videos a class, by the way.
Yeah, he's very good at his job, mate, and he's top drawer.
God, dear, mate, brilliant.
It looks so much better with the writing in it now. I'll send it over to you when we finish, actually.
I've just had some more come through now, actually. Edison, Scott Carson sent me Edison signing them. A little video of him signing them.
Just send them over. I've just got to add them into it now and just add a few more effects into it just to make it a bit special. like you said, with the golf events, just send me all the details and I'll make the same things. It's fine.
Brilliant. Do you reckon you could do it maybe with "You Never Walk Alone" music on it?
I can do anything. I'll have it from the crowd singing. Yeah.
Yeah, just have a little play around with that. I think that could be because we're doing it for the NHS as well, and I think they've sang that song about the NHS over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, just see what that maybe looks like. That could look about that.
Could we get a pair of those gloves signed off of you for Betty's charity? She's raised 25 grand. It ends today. She's done 100.
It's a 100-day tomorrow. She cycled a mile.
Yeah, I'll sign a pair. I've got a couple of spare pairs, so I'll sign a pair.
Fantastic. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate it.
Text me an address to send them to.
Okay.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, she's on her last day tomorrow. So.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, it's been
amazing, isn't she?
She's done amazing, mate. Yeah, honestly, and like some of the people we've met through it, like all up north, down south, just clubs have just sent shirts and just been amazing, mate. Really,
rightly so as well. Rightly so.
No, I appreciate that, mate. Thank you. But thank you for coming on, mate. I really appreciate it again.
No, my pleasure, Kev. Thanks for them videos, mate, as well.
Take care.
You take care.